Jenny vs Android 17. Jenny wins. Jenny is stronger because she pushed the damn sun.
Ah! Fucking stupid!
Yeah, that's right. I'm back to doing more of these videos. This time, it is about Jenny Wakeman, aka XJ9 from My Life as a Teenage Robot. And oh my gosh, are these claims crazy. While they are not as overboard as some fan theories for Sonic, they are nonetheless crazy, and also the lies are even more obvious, but they are much less in quantity, which means this video won't be as long as the other one. So I'm here to talk about the strengths of Jenny XJ9. So what are people lying about with XJ9? Well, as you saw in the beginning of the video, which is the reason why I wanted to start this video, people over the Fanon pages, specifically Death Battle Fanon, claim in this page that she can beat Android 17 in a death battle and why she can do it. I'm going to skim through this, and by the way, this is the absolute worst fan-made death battle I have ever seen and read. It is trash, it is biased, it is poorly written, it lacks research, it has terrible spelling and grammar, it is way too short, the author is not labeled, which means the writer didn't even put their freaking name on it, and worst of all, it is filled with lies. Keep in mind that this was made before Dragon Ball Super, but even if it wasn't with Dragon Ball Super Feats, this fan-made death battle is gutter bullshit. Not just because they made Android 17 lose to XJ9, but the ridiculous supposed feats stated about Jenny in the death battle. So let's go over and read this terrible trash. And a warning to all of you, even if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball, I warn you, this fan-made death battle may cause you to lose brain cells. It begins with just a dumb and dull interlude that doesn't even have Whiz and Boomstick, but instead it has Gogeta and Zinogre from Monster Hunter, which is weird. They then start covering the information for XJ9 and sum up her origins and what took place before she got created. I won't actually read the whole thing, but just the supposed feats stated here. It says, like most heroes, she has superhuman strength, speed, and durability. But covering the strength, they say she is strong enough to push the sun. And they state the weight of the sun in pounds, which everyone knows is heavy, but here they say she pushed the sun. And they don't even show it. They just say that she can. And notice they use the word push. Not pull, not move, they say push. So they are saying that Jenny used her hands to physically push the sun, or maybe with her legs or body or whatever, which again they don't show it. They then give a short undetailed summary about her durability by just saying she's made of titanium alloy and invulnerability, which isn't completely true. They then talk about her speed and say she's fast enough to drag a monster to another galaxy. They then state the distance to the closest galaxy in real life and said that she traveled the actual distance and said her maximum time to achieve this is an hour, making her go over 200 million times light speed, which I will soon show you guys what they are talking about. Because again, they don't show it. They then talk about her forms of vision, her ability to shapeshift, then they state her beating the Armageddroid, which again, they don't show it. Then just lazily state her inner body being her weakness, and just end her side quickly. And now for Android 17. They just make a quick summary about his origins, story, and what he's supposed to do. They then go to scale his strength to a Super Saiyan and fused Piccolo without using any actual numbers. They state him doing Ki blasts, then his speed being at Mach 38,000, which is 28.7 million miles per hour. That's 1/23rd the speed of light. However, they also state his power level here in this fight, and compare the speed by comparing the power levels, which I have no idea where these power levels came from. They state that Android 17 is about 5 times weaker than Gotenks, and say that Super Saiyan Gotenks' speed is Mach 188,000, which is 143.7 million miles per hour, which is about 4.5th the speed of light. They do state that 17 has an unlimited supply of energy to fight forever, but then they just end his feats there. Then the fight begins. I'm just going to quickly get to the end of the fight because most of the fanfic dialogue is terribly made. They make Jenny XJ9 win. Now for the so-called analysis. They say anything 17 can do, Jenny does better. They say again that she pushed the sun, which was never shown in this page. And then the reason they say she's more durable is because she took the heat and gravitational force of the sun. Okay, I gotta hold it there because Resisting the heat is one thing, but the gravity of the sun, really? They do not show this either. In case you guys don't know, the gravity of the sun is 28 times that of the Earth. But if you look at other DBZ characters like Goku and Vegeta training in over 100 times gravity during the Frieza saga, then 28 times gravity is nothing, and the person who wrote this obviously does not know what they are talking about.
Wow, this working out in 100 times gravity is starting to pay off.
My planet is very different from yours. It's the gravity. 10 times stronger than Earth. Your hopes of winning are falling faster than that stone. You won't leave here alive.
Maybe if this was 500 times gravity, you might have an advantage. But 10? I don't even feel it.
By the way, they don't even show Jenny resisting the heat nor the gravity of the sun, so this is also unconfirmed. Then they say Jenny is smarter because 17 quote-unquote never showed any intelligent feats before. Okay, I've not watched all of the DBZ episodes, but I know this is a lie. Here's another thing, speaking of intelligence, I like how the writer just blatantly says Jenny is smart and 17 isn't, yet in the individual character slides the writer did not write down nor show any intelligent feats for either of the characters. Also incredibly more one-sided considering they completely ignored Jenny showing a lack of intelligence in her episodes. One where she needs help with cafeteria, and one where she does not notice her own teammates and her football team are injured. They then talk about the speed comparisons, and again make the same claim that she traveled the actual multi-million light-year distance between galaxies in under an hour. They then say her weapons are unpredictable and fail to make a pun at the end and just say she's the winner. Then at the very end they go to the advantages and disadvantages and give all positive stats on Jenny and all negative stats on 17 about strength, speed, weapons, durability, intelligence, etc. Now I sincerely apologize if this fan-made death battle killed your brain cells because I feel your pain. Obviously, this fool did not reference anything, and you can tell that this death battle just screamed the words lies and bias. So you know what I did after I saw this fan-made death battle? I watched the episodes where these people got the supposed feats from, including episodes before and after, and I could not believe how obvious these lies were. People that tried to confirm false feats for Jenny love to throw out a single certain episode in Season 3, which is the episode where they say that Jenny's physical strength is solar system level, and that she can physically push the sun and she can lift stars.
That's a lie!
To explain her actual strength, in the opening theme song, and this does not change for any season nor episode, she has the strength of 1,070 men. To a character like Frieza when he fought Goku, Vegeta, or any of the other androids in the Android Saga, that is not a lot. Also, according to some research and math a couple of people on Death Battle Fanon did, and one on DeviantArt, calculated the strength of an average man, and if multiplied by 1,000,000, the strength of how many tons they could lift, it would be 60,000 tons. Let's take an aircraft carrier for example, which weighs over 100,000 tons, and use Astro Boy as a character. It's proven that Astro Boy can lift up a craft like this with ease, but according to Jenny's calculated strength, she couldn't lift this craft up. Even if we increase the average man's lifting weight to 200 pounds, she could barely lift up this aircraft carrier. Now let's watch a feat by Jenny herself because people claim she can lift up and push the sun, but here's a clip of her barely pushing a chunk of a broken dam being pressured by a body of water, which obviously weighs less than a piece of the sun. So let's watch that clip.
Bad bot. Too late. Oh no! Water pressure. Too strong. Can't hold it back alone.
By the way, the only way she's able to push back is because she had the help of her sisters, specifically her physically stronger sister XJ9. And here you guys come in the comment section trying to say, but Darkstar, that's Season 1, and in Season 3 she's upgraded enough to push the sun.
Wrong!
No guys, she did not push the sun. And if you guys don't know what episode they are referring to, they are talking about the episode Teen Idol, which is episode 1, section A of season 3. This is the episode where the sun moves, but they think that Jenny's strength alone moved it, when that is a big fat lie. They are saying that Jenny pushed it, meaning with her hands. But watching the episode completely contradicts that. So let's watch that clip.
What the? Where's the reverse button on this thing? Why would we need a reverse button? Wait a minute. If it can pull the sun one way, it can pull it back the other.
So, she pushed the sun, A.
Nope.
She used a magical pyramid built by a bunch of aliens. And the only thing she lifted and pushed was the magical pyramid itself. And if you also look closely as she's lifting the pyramid up, you can clearly see her face showing that she's struggling to lift up the pyramid before she takes it behind the sun. Yet that sun-pushing lie spread to the point that other people in the Death Battle fanon were saying the same dumb shit too. One of the fools that support these lies is also the same exact person that made the Saitama vs. Iron Man page. By the way, some idiots are trying to make it seem like the pyramid is her own strength, because this fool right here says there is no indication that the strength wasn't hers, which is a fallacy. Specifically the appeal to ignorance fallacy and the burden of proof fallacy. And this isn't the first time I saw this particular fool use a fallacy similar to this one. He has the nerve to say this despite the fact that there is no indication that the strength of the magical pyramid is hers. And this is also a lie, because if it really was her own energy moving the sun, she would not need to bring the pyramid with her in the first place. But she did, which completely proves that it wasn't her power alone to move the sun. I mean, come on, even in the same episode, she says this.
I'm not the comet goddess! I don't have magical powers! Where's the reverse button on this thing? Wait a minute. If it can pull the sun one way, it can pull it back the other. If it can pull the sun one way...
So people can stop saying she moved the sun on her own, because the major factor was the magical pyramid built by the aliens. That's not all. This isn't the only thing people love to throw around with a Teen Idol episode, oh no. In the same episode, they claim that Jenny can cross the actual distance between galaxies, which are millions of light years apart. And this is speculated at the beginning of the Teen Idol episode. So let's watch and listen to what they are talking about.
Let go of me, you insignificant little bot! How can I destroy the Earth from another galaxy? From another galaxy? From another galaxy?
With this, they say that the most amount of time she took was about an hour to get back home. Now, if you just watch this episode by itself, you might believe this theoretical feat. I mean, at first I thought it was possible and said, oh no, this might actually be true. Again, might. But then I started to doubt this feat because it is off screen, and we do not see the moments before she brings the alien bot to the other galaxy, nor the moments when she goes back home. If this was the only thing shown, then it could mean that it's true, right? Right?
Objection!
This galaxy isn't exactly conveniently located, you know.
Well, look, I know this great little wormhole that's not too far from Earth. It can warp distances in light. Wormhole, wormhole, wormhole.
XJ9, what are you doing? Are you fooling around in that wormhole again?
That's right! Jenny had the possibility of using a wormhole to bring that alien drone to another galaxy and return back home quickly.
That's right, that's right, that's right!
Yet all of these idiots using that example completely ignore this fact, and what makes this even more disgusting is the fact that the episode they love throwing around, which is Teen Idol, that has this so-called galactic distance feat, is paired right with the episode that completely contradicts them. And I cannot believe that so many fools are so blind and deaf that they would miss this. Both are in Season 3. Teen Idol is Episode 1, Part 1, while Good Old Sheldon is Episode 1, Part 2. So there is no reason for them to miss this information.
You lose! Good day, sir!
So like I said, her speed should actually just be more compared to Astro Boy's speed, because according to known information, Astro Boy can fly around the circumference of the Earth in 2 seconds, so Jenny should be just a little bit more than that. However, to talk about her actual top speed, size differences are common in My Life as a Teenage Robot, as well as other cartoons. Because in real life, the distance between the Earth and the Moon appears to be much longer than the size of the Sun in the show. Maybe even the size of the solar system. I mean, if this logic is applied to the Donkey Kong vs. Knuckles death battle, where the moon in Donkey Kong's universe is much smaller than our actual moon, then the same should apply here. Keeping the size of the Earth the same as ours, it would seem that the size of the Sun is much smaller than our actual real-life Sun. In this shot, the Sun is at least 3 times bigger than the Earth. Hey, I'm not the only person using this logic. The guy on DeviantArt that I mentioned earlier did similar calculations. Plus, by judging this scene right here, it would seem that the distance between the Sun and the Earth is about 99,000 miles, and she traveled that distance with the pyramid in 9 seconds, which would put her speed at 11,000 miles per second, which is about 39.5 million miles per hour. That is about 1/17th the speed of light. To recap real-life distances, the minimum distance between the Earth and the Moon is 356,000 kilometers, or 221,000 miles, which means it takes light decimals more than 1 second to cross that distance. This means this distance is way larger than the distance between the Sun and the Earth in My Life as a Teenage Robot. But she was holding a pyramid while she was doing that, so her speed should be much faster, right? Okay, let me calculate that. The moment she returns to Earth, it took her at least 6 seconds to get back down to Earth, which barely puts her speed at 16.5 thousand miles per second. That is 1/11th the speed of light. Another thing is that the wormhole Jenny mentioned isn't the only thing she says, but she also states the fact that the wormhole is not far from Earth, which further proves that the actual distance that Jenny had to travel doesn't seem to be that much, as it is the external mean, and I have to say those words again, the external source that she had to travel massive light distances using the wormhole, again proving that she could not travel light year distances on her own. I mean, if Jenny really could travel faster than light, she wouldn't even need to mention nor use wormholes. So that pretty much covers what her actual top speed is. The other thing I have to cover is the strength feat, which is the pyramid she had to lift. And one thing the guy on DeviantArt forgot to properly calculate. Based on this shot right here, the size of the pyramid, it seems to be less of a size of a block around a road, which is actually smaller than an actual pyramid from Egypt. Taking the length of a car and saying the road has a length of 4 lanes, which a lane should be about 4 meters long, which 2 meters is how tall Jenny is, measuring the pyramid would make it about 32 meters by 32 meters, and calculating the height of the pyramid, the tip is about a 45-degree angle. The height of the pyramid would be about 14 meters tall, or 20 or 30. But just for conveniency, I'm going to highball it to 20 to 30 meters. If it was 30 meters tall, which the pyramid of Giza is 75 times larger by volume, it would weigh 76,000 tons. This actually makes the pyramid much smaller than most other pyramids, making this weigh much less than an aircraft carrier. I mean, that alien spaceship should obviously weigh much less than the pyramid, seeing how she can throw it as far with one hand. I mean, it is similar to her throwing that spaceship to Mars. So let me show her actual powerful feats. The first obvious one being in the first episode, and it's not her destroying an Earth-destroying meteor, but when she kicked the hacky sack so hard, it went out of the Earth's atmosphere and almost everything that it went through tore them to pieces. The second strongest feat I got was her flicking off a steel door with just her fingers. I mean, would that not be your strength if the power of your finger was multiplied by 1,000,000? However, I already covered and debunked the overboarded speculations about Jenny's speed and strength. So Jenny Wakeman, aka XJ9, cannot travel actual light distances on her own without taking shortcuts like wormholes, and also, she cannot push the sun. So once again, if you claim that a certain character has a certain feat, don't just say it, show it with actual evidence, and do not cherry pick certain scenes nor off-screen information. So please show actual evidence of what you are talking about.
So get off your damage control, accept the facts, and deal with it.